Okay, in this video we're going to discuss how to build a major scale. What we're looking at is obviously some staff paper. There's my hand. So the formula we use when we're building a major scale is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. This is probably one of the most important things that you'll learn in this class. Often I say if you can remember this formula and build a major scale, you can pretty much logically get to any other factor that we discuss in the class. So let's put this into effect and let's build a couple of major scales. So we're going to start with our treble clef, and let's start with the most frequently used scale, a C major scale. So we can even write it in here, C major. So if we were asked to build a C major scale, we know that that would start on the note C. So here we have, in this case, the middle C. It could start up here. That'd be fine. It would go a little bit higher into the ledger line, so I'm going to start down here. So the first thing we need is, if we have a keyboard, we are going to start on C. We're going to go up a whole step from C, which is going to take us to a D. So this is a whole step. We're going to go up a whole step. That would take us to E. Up a half step. So that's going to go from E up to F. Up a whole step from F is G. Up a whole step from G is A. Up a whole step from A is B. And up a half step from B is C. Now let's review the rules of building the major scale before we go on to the next one. And then we'll verify to see that this one is correct. So rule number one is you have to have all pitch classes. These might not be in the same order as the book, but it's all the same content. So that means we have to have some sort of A, some sort of B, some sort of C, some sort of D, some sort of E, some sort of F, some sort of G. And by some sort of, I mean some scales you might have a B flat or an F sharp. So you're going to have some type of each one of these pitch classes. You may not. I'm going to bundle a couple of these together. Skip, repeat, omit any pitch classes. They have to be all there, and they have to be in the order of the musical alphabet. So let's look at these. So C major scale, let's write the note names in. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So we have 8 notes total, so that's good. We must have all the pitch classes. So we have some sort of A, some sort of B, some sort of C, some sort of D, some sort of E, some sort of F, some sort of G, some sort of A. So that's all fine. We started on this C and we ended on this C. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 notes starting and ending on the same pitch, an octave apart. Let's see, what else? We got some more rules. So, may not have sharps and flats in the same scale. That's fine because C major has no sharps and flats, so we're good there. And it must follow whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, which we did. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So this is, and I know this because I teach this class all the time and I play saxophone all the time, this is a C major scale. So let's move on. I'm going to move the page up just a little bit. This is some old school technology I'm using here, paper and pencil. So let's build one that's going to have a couple of accidentals. Let's build a D major scale. So D major scale is going to start on the note D. So we're in treble clef. We know there's a D up here on the fourth line from the bottom. And we could start there, but we'd end up again pretty high in the ledger line. So I'm going to start down here under the staff. So D. And we want a whole step above D, which is an E. We want a whole step above E. Now, remember, a whole step is built out of two half steps. So a whole step above E is going to give us an F sharp. So D, E, F sharp. Notice when I write the accidental, it's immediately to the left of the note. And then when I name the note, which are all capital letters, it's immediately sort of, I guess, like superscript following the note. Now, why do we have to call this note F sharp? If we're thinking about the piano, this is a black key, and this black key could be called F sharp or G flat. So if we were to name this, I'm just going to erase this temporarily. If we were to name this G flat, why couldn't we do that? And I'm not going to change the note, because F sharp is right. If we called this G flat, we'd be breaking some rules up here. So if we go back to the rules of writing the major scale, pull it down just a little bit, we must have all the pitch classes. Well, we're not done with the scale, so that's not that. We're not quite there yet. But rule number 2, we may not skip, repeat, or omit any pitch classes. So here we have D, E, G. So we've gone from D, E, and we've skipped the F pitch class. So in this case, by that rule alone, we have to call this note by some sort of F pitch class name. So D, E, whole step above E is that black key, that first one in the group of 3, and so it's F sharp. So now we need a half step. Half step above that is G. Whole step above that is A. Whole step above A is B. Now we need another whole step. So whole step above B puts us on the first black key in the group of 2, or the one on the left. And so that could be called, we've got G, A, B. So if we follow the rules of pitch classes, we started with D, we went to E, we had F sharp, G, A, B. So the next note has to be some sort of pitch class. So although that key could be named C sharp or D flat, we have to call it C sharp. Now, if we think about all of the rules, another reason why we have to call it C sharp is because of rule 3. We may not have sharps and flats in the same scale. So we already established that the F here has to be an F sharp. And so because of that, this also has to be a sharp. So anyway, half step above C sharp is D. So we started on a D, we ended on a D an octave higher, or 8 notes higher. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes. We have all of the pitch classes, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. No sharps and flats. So here we have a correct D major scale. Let's do one more scale. Let's do one with some flats. So B flat major scale is a really common major scale. It's one we'll probably deal with a lot in this class, and you deal with a lot in life because a lot of songs are in B flat. And so as it says, it starts on a B flat. So I'm going to notate a B flat. Now, we have a B flat here already, so we know that if there are any accidentals in this scale, there can't be flats and sharps in the same major scale, so we have to choose the one with the flat name. So a whole step above B flat is C. Whole step above C is D. Half step above D, now this is the second black key in the group of two, so it could be either D sharp or E flat, but because we already have flats here, and we already have B, C, and D, we need to call that note E flat. So whole step above E flat is F. Whole step above F is G. Whole step above G, we're on to our first ledger line, A. And then we just need a half step above A, which gives us a B flat. Now we chose B flat again. Obviously this black key, which is the third in the group of three, or the one on the right in the group of three, could be called A sharp or B flat. If this was being called A sharp, then we would be repeating the A pitch class, which is a big no-no. I have a 2.5-year-old, so if I sound like I'm talking to 2.5-year-olds sometimes, I'm sorry about that. We would also be starting, although we would be starting and ending on notes that have the same sound, B flat and A sharp or enharmonic, same key, same sound, we wouldn't be starting and ending on the same written note, and so that's another big no-no. So we gotta call this one B flat. So we've got the pitch classes all there in an order: B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat. Great, we got 8 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're starting and we're ending on the same note, an octave apart. We have only flats, we can't have sharps and flats living together. Cats and dogs living together. So this is in fact a B flat major scale. So I hope that this helps you understand building the major scale, and thank you very much for watching.